Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Indosim Esports Network for your Tuesday night. Tonight, we bring you round 6 of the Blendline TV PROCAR GT Championship. Your location is the Twin Ring Motegi in Japan. My name is Aidan Schultz. Joining me in the booth, as always, is Paul Jackson. Good evening to you, Paul.
Good evening, Aidan. Good evening, everyone tuning in to the Indosim Esports Network tonight. Round 6, Blendline TV.
Yep, round 6 of the Blendline TV PROCAR GT Championship. Like I said, we are from the Twin Ring Motegi circuit. Great circuit. I had the pleasure of doing a couple of laps around this circuit this afternoon. A lot of passing opportunities. We're still over in Japan as we were for the previous round, round 5. The drivers are in qualifying at the moment as we see them going around. So you'll see them start setting their lap times pretty quickly. It is a 10-minute qualifying session. It is about a 1-minute 54 lap around the Twin Ring at Motegi. So with their out lap, they'll probably only get 3 laps to be able to set their quickest time for what will set the grid for race 1, which is a super sprint round this week. We're back to the super sprint format. That means we have 3 races. Race 1 will be 11 laps. Race 2 will also be 11 laps, but it will be a reverse grid from the finishing order in race 1. And then the finishing order from race 2 will be how they will start for race 3. Coming into this round, Jordan Mulak has a substantial lead at the top of the championship. We just see Jared Knight go quickest in qualifying at the moment with a 156.6. Of course, a big shout out to the sponsors of the Blendline TV PROCAR GT Championship, Affordable Web Solutions, South Gundagai Automotive, and Viking Media. Thank you to those guys. But looking forward, Paul, to bringing the viewers all the action for what is round 6 of the Blendline TV PROCAR GT Championship. Back at the super sprint format tonight, as opposed to the sprint format with the that we did see last week, which had that pit stop in the second race. So no pit stops tonight, and they're going to be flat out 11-lap races around Twin Ring Motegi.
And don't forget that second race will be an inverted grid as well. So looking forward to that one as always.
Yep, looking forward to that one. That one's going to be one that you need to keep tuned in for here, guys, on the Indosim Esports Network, because it is definitely going to be full of action. We have seen in the previous rounds for the Blendline TV PROCAR GT Championship with that reverse grid, we've had a couple of guys at the front or even to the midfield that have struggled to get the launch in these Porsche 992 GT3 cars. They do have a second clutch in these cars, so you do get a second launch, just like the V8 supercar in the real world. So you need to modulate that clutch pedal and that accelerator pedal and get them matched up nice and precisely to be able to launch these cars off the line. But we're currently sitting at just on 4 minutes into the 10-minute qualifying session, rather. We've still got Jared Knight at the top. He's actually just been pipped as I speak. So the times are starting to drop now. Dan Smith's gone to the top with a 152.56. So I said the lap time would be approximately 154. That just tells me that I was very slow as Dan Smith just jumps to the top with a 152.56. Adam Proctor, a good qualifying so far. 152.89. Martin Hallinan up there in third with a 153.06, so about half a second for Martin to find. It's all about track position here around Twin Ring Motegi. There are about 30 cars out on grid tonight, and they are out on track together through this qualifying session, so they'll want to find a nice clear space on this racetrack to be able to maximise everything they can out of their Porsche 992 to get the best possible lap time they can to start at the front of the grid for round 6 tonight. Jamie Craig still at the top there. Jamie Craig's had a solid run last round. He was 2 from 2 last round. The first driver to pip Jordan Mulak in the championship so far on pace, and he did that with 2 pole positions and 2 wins. So Jamie Craig coming in with a head full of steam tonight into round 6. But in saying that, your championship leader has just popped to the top of the timesheets with a 152.39. No surprise there. I'll quickly go through your top 10, ladies and gentlemen, so you can see where your favourite driver is. You can see the leaderboard there on your screen, so you can go through that. But your top 10 currently is Jordan Mulak, Jamie Craig, and Dan Smith, your 3. Adam Proctor and Martin Hallinan 4 and 5. Anthony Hulme, Garth Duffy, Brett Smith, Russ Green and Dimitri Agathos round out your 10. Anthony Hulme will be looking for a better round this round for round 6, Paul. He had a little bit of an up and down round last week, and he's definitely going to be looking for a better round this round than what he had last round. Anthony Hulme always quick and up in contention to take these races.
Yeah, definitely didn't go his way last week, so hopefully he can get some good results at Twin Ring Motegi tonight.
Yeah, hopefully he can. Steven Skukovic there's just popped up into the 8th position. He actually started out of the 3rd position last week for race 1, so he's always got a lot of pace. Dan Smith just jumped to the top again in the 313 entry, 152.14, so he's just bettered Jordan Mulak's time by just over 0.2 of a second. So he's got a nice little bit of breathing room there at the top. He is in pit lane. We are 6 minutes 41 into the 10-minute qualifying session. Just as I say that, Andrew Smith up the front again. Andrew Smith is somebody in this series that we've seen with a lot of pace, an absolute bucket load of pace, just hasn't been able to utilise that to convert on solid results. He did have a solid result when we were at the Concrete Canyon a couple of rounds ago, but he struggled last week with a result that he wouldn't have been happy with by his own admission after qualifying on the pole for round number 5. We see him at the top at the moment. He is actually the first one to jump into the 151s. So he's just gone a 151.87. Next best is Jordan Mulak with a 152.08. Dan Smith 152.14. Just having a look down the grid, Paul, David Oliver in the 668s currently in the 12th position, 153.3. So he's about 1.5 seconds off the point at the moment. He was the podium place getter last week for round 5. So he's just buried a little bit in the order at the moment. Ricky Provenzale's doing a good job there. He's up into 4th, the ever-consistent Ricky Provenzale. He contacted me during the week. I've been pronouncing his wrong incorrectly, so I do apologise to you there, Ricky, when you watch that back. So it is Ricky Provenzale in the 46. He's now dropped to 5th. Dan Smith, 4th. Adam Proctor's jumped up into the 3rd with a 152.09. Garth Duffy's down in the 14th position from Bin Chicane Racing. Dimitri Agathos down the timesheets too. He's 18th at the moment, 154.02. So a lot of work from Dimitri Agathos to be done here to put a lap in to see whether he can move the 66 Bin Chicane Racing entry up the timesheets. But he's buried down the pack at the moment in 18th. He's got to find another 2 seconds in that 66 entry, so we'll see how he goes. But we're now just about to clock over 9 minutes into the 10-minute qualifying session. Andrew Smith's in pit lane. That's all that she wrote for Andrew Smith, who's at the top at the moment, as is Jordan Mulak. Adam Proctor's out on track at the moment too, so we'll see whether he can jump up the leaderboard and possibly start off that front row. He's there in 3rd at the moment with a 152.09. You see Jamie Craig there taking a little bit more of the track than he should. He was dragging a safety cone around the track and you just saw it pop out from underneath his car. So that wouldn't have helped the aero there from Jamie Craig in the 39 entry, but we'll see how it all plays out. 9 minutes 23 into the qualifying session. Jamie Craig with a nice little lick of the inside wall there at the Twin Wing Motegi circuit. But it looks like it's almost said and done here for qualifying as we see a driver come across the start-finish line now. And we will see how he jumps up. That was Jared Knight, and he's now 6th position, 152.43. So close times up the front at the moment. 151.87 is the best and looks like it will be good enough to take pole for round 6, race 1 of the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship, as qualifying has just finished, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll bring up your grid for round 6, race 1 of the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship here on the InterSim Esports Network. It will be Andrew Smith once again taking your pole position. Jordan Mulak, your championship leader, will be off P2. Adam Proctor and Dan Smith will take up the 2nd row. Jamie Craig and Jared Knight, your 3rd row. Ricky Provenzale and Colby Cohen there in your 4th row. 5th row will be Anthony Hulme and Martin Hallinan. Dave Oliver and Brett Smith will be out of 11 and 12 as we roll across the page. And out of 13th and 14th, Stephen Skukovic and Garth Duffy. Adrian Gretsch, Dion Jarvis, 15 and 16, Russ Green and Wayne Visser, 17 and 18. Dimitri Agathos down there in 19th. A lot of work for Dimitri to do. Nico Filippetto there in 20th. Michael Budge, 21st. Tafin Oz Turkman, 22nd. Lindsay Kearns, 21st. Brian Bullock, 24th, as we go across this quickly before we go green. 25th position will be Trav Mason. Nico, I totally missed that, but we're about to go green, ladies and gentlemen. 25th was Trav Mason. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen, but we're about to go green. It will be Andrew Smith and Jordan Mulak off your front row for race 1 tonight. Keep in mind and do not tune away. Race 2 will be a reverse grid on the finishing orders of this race 1. Jordan Mulak, always really good at getting these Porsche 992s off the line. We'll see whether he can do that once again. He has the preferred line into turn 1 and 2. Andrew Smith's on the cleaner line, though, on the outside line. So we'll see who it'll be into turn 1 this time around. Can it be Adam Proctor or Dan Smith from the second row, or Jamie Craig, Jared Knight from that third row? Can they have a blinding start off there and get into the first row? Possibly in first position. We'll see how they go. So all the drivers are just getting lined up on the grid now. The heart rate will be rising. The anticipation will be rising. Here we go. The lights are up, ladies and gentlemen. Let's count them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we are green for round 6, race 1 of the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship. And Andrew Smith with a good jump on the outside. Jordan Mulak had a similar jump there too. It looked like Jordan actually jumped the start there from my screen, but we'll see what happens there. With 3 wide through turn 1 and 2 at the twin ring Motegi. They're playing for keeps early as they come up to turn 3. The double turn 3 and 4, double left-hander section of the track. Cold tyres, cold brakes. Good move there, just in behind Dave Oliver. That was Garth Duffy making a move early in this one. So Garth Duffy made the move up the inside of Martin Hallinan there. So, Paul, the guys, there's a move up the inside there into turn number 5. There's a lot of passing opportunities here around Twin Rig Motegi. As I said, a lot of hard braking zones and some downhill braking zones as well. This is going up through the S-curve section of the track. It's a left and right-hander. Two sweepers. You can get a little bit of aero wash there in these cars if you're too close to the car preceding you. But it is Andrew Smith at the point of this. He took all the opportunity he needed off that front row in first, and he's leading the way over Jordan Mulak. Dan Smith's just up 1 spot into the third position in behind him at the moment as they go through the turn 10 hairpin. They'll make their way down the downhill straight now. This is a really good passing opportunity down into turn number, this is turn number 10 here, which I believe, downhill straight here. So really good opportunity into this corner if you are close enough, as Andrew Smith nearly goes wide on exit there. They'll go through the final section of the track through the 13th and 14 corner. That's number 14 there, Victory Corner, as they make their way onto the main straight for the first time tonight and take lap 1. Nico Filippetto in the background there. Brian Bullock were on board as well, so it looks like Nico Filippetto, Brian Bullock, and another driver's off into the inside of the track as well, and another one just fires off, and we are still green. So let's go back to the Sim Racer Merch instant replay, or simracermerch.com instant replay, and see how that instant unfolded. Okay, so we've got Brian Bullock there on screen. Brett Smith in front, I believe. Brian Bullock's taking advancing action. There's Ricky Provenzali with a big lick into the inside wall. Looks like he got caught up with another driver there on the exit of Victory Corner, and that's not the way that they wanted to start race 1. But on board with Ricky Provenzali there. Oh, there it is. There it is there. So the car's in front. Ricky Provenzali's just got into the outside of another car, and the car behind just nowhere to go, and that is no good for those two drivers. Ricky Provenzali with a nice flick spin there. The other driver just sent it into the outside wall. That was Brett Smith, so not the way they wanted to start it. As we have another spinner there that was in front of Nico Filippetto. But back to the point, Andrew Smith still leading the way. as they make their way down the downhill straight for the second time tonight. It is very late. It looks like they're running this one under lights at the Twin Ring Motegi. So Andrew Smith leading the way over Jordan Mulak. Dan Smith is up into the third place. Like I said earlier, he was one spot up on his starting position. He's slowly bridging that gap between Jordan Mulak and himself. He's pulling Jared Knight along with him, as is Jamie Craig up in behind him with that really distinctive blue car of Jamie Craig there. So we'll see whether this battle heats up at the front. If Jordan Mulak does start catching Andrew Smith a little bit closer and gets his car in a position to make a move, this will allow Dan Smith, Jared Knight, Jamie Craig to become part of this battle even more so than we can see on your screen now, and it'll be a 5-car battle for the front. They've got a little bit of a gap over Colby Cohen at the moment. The ever-consistent number 25 of Colby Cohen up there in 6th position. He started out at 8th, up there in 6th currently. So Colby doing a great job tonight. Must like these Porsche 992 GT3s because he's always quick, as we see just in front of there, Jared Knight just taking a nice defensive line over Jamie Craig. Jamie Craig looking really, really racy in behind Jared Knight at the moment. We'll see whether Jamie Craig has anything for Jared Knight on this lap as they come through this left-hander and right-hander section. They'll get on the gas. They'll come into a sharp or 90-degree left-hander here. He's not quite close enough to make the move through here. So if he can get a good run out of here, here's another good passing opportunity into the right-hander hairpin up here. He's not quite close enough as Jamie Craig just positions his car in the middle of the racetrack. So we'll see whether Jared Knight positions his car in the middle of the racetrack. Jamie Craig getting a good run now down to the downhill straight. We'll see whether he pops out and makes a move down here. He's just a little bit too far back at the moment, so he thinks better of that one. Jamie Craig just sits in behind Jared Knight. They'll make their way onto the back end of the straight through this very tricky left and right, or double left then right-hander onto turn 14. Victory corner, and they'll come onto the main straight once again and take lap 4 this time around of the Blendline TV ProCar GT Championship. Paul, apart from that one little incident earlier in this one with Ricky Provenzali, it's been a pretty tame start by the guys as the battle heats up for the front between Andrew Smith and Jordan Mulak.
Yeah, there has been a few off-tracks recorded, so a few positions changed and stuff, but when we have a look at the biggest gains and biggest losers so far as we're coming towards halfway into this race, Aidan.
100%. Let's do that for the viewers, Paul. So your biggest gains and biggest losers. Let's go to the negative first. So your biggest loser, Adam Proctor, after starting out of the 3rd position, he's down 12 positions back in the pack in 15th at the moment as we're on board with Adam Proctor there. So not a good start for Adam Proctor. He's definitely got pace in that 98 entry. We'll see whether he can utilise that pace and get his way up through the field. But keep in mind, this is a reverse grid for the second round, so for the second race. So not a bad place for Adam Proctor to be, but it's pretty much in no man's land at the moment, as that'll put him right in the middle of the pack for race number 2. Some of the big gainers, we'll look a little bit further down the back. Trav Mason in 17th at the moment. You can see him there on screen with that distinctive black and red entry. He is up 8 positions from his 25th starting position. So he's now in 17th position. So good start there by Trav Mason. He's currently lapping around 4 seconds slower than the leaders, but he's still up, as I said, that 8 positions on his starting position. Dimitri Agathos, that I mentioned, that very unlike Dimitri, he was down in the qualifying order, which we're not used to seeing the 66 bin chicane racing entry of Dimitri Agathos down that far in 18th. Or 19th rather, but now he's up 7 positions into 12th and just knocking on the door of that top 10. He's currently chasing down Russ Green in front of him, which is just about 1.6 seconds up the road, and that's what 1.6 seconds look like. Colby Cohen's made a mistake into turn 1, and that's, I believe that's turn 1, and Colby Cohen has come out of the 6th position. Now he's dropping down outside the top 10. He's showing in P11 at the moment, so that's Dimitri Agathos we're just on board with there, ranging right up onto the back of him. So Dimitri will be keen to make the move on Colby Cohen to jump up into that 11th position. And there's the top 10 right in front of him. That's Russ Green in front of Colby Cohen, Paul. But I tell you what, this battle at the front, Andrew Smith and Jordan Mulak, it's their time again to have a battle at the front. It's only 0.3 of a second. We're still on board with Russ Green at the moment, but we go back to the point, and it is Andrew Smith. You can see there. That's the gap for the lead, ladies and gentlemen. Jordan Mulak, your championship leader, really ranging up onto the back of him and making Andrew Smith honest in this one. But don't write off Dan Smith, Jared Knight and Jamie Craig, because they're still holding on to this battle for the first position. It is a 5-car train at the moment for race 1, round 6 of the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship. So it's still anybody's race. Let's just run through their last lap times to let you know who has pace here at the front group. And ladies and gentlemen, you can split them with a tally-o paper, as they say. Andrew Smith last lap around 152.35. As we just got race control there, lap 1, car 67, car 77. Car 67 makes rear-end contact with car 77, spinning car 77. So the car 67 is given a drive-through penalty. So that is the 67 of Lindsay Kearns. So that's not the way he wanted to start his race 1 either. So that's going to put him well down the pack, if not possibly nearly a lap behind the rest of the field. But Paul, this is an amazing battle at the front. It is Andrew Smith from Jordan Mulak. Tell you who's got some pace tonight. It's Dan Smith at the moment. So his race control again. They're everywhere at the moment. So I'll give you this one. Lap 1, car 46, car 16. Car 46 leaves the racing surface and when rejoining makes contact with car 15. Car 46 has a drive-through penalty as well. So that's Ricky Provenzali. He's currently in pits serving or getting a little bit of damage. He's been in pits for a long time, so he's getting his damage repaired. So if he does venture his way back out, which he may not do because we're already 6 laps into 11 of this sprint race, as Jamie Craig has made a big mistake out of the leaders of this motor race, and he has dropped right down. Let's go back to a simracermerch.com replay and see what happened to the 39 of Jamie Craig. So we can see Jamie Craig there with the rear brakes glowing as he makes his way through this part of the circuit. And it looked like there he just grabbed a little bit of grass before that ripple strip on the outside of the entry to that corner. And he must have felt that through the wheel because he just wasn't able to pull that up, and too much rear brake, and that turns around the 39 and Jamie Craig. So that puts him back into the 9th position, just holding on to that position from Russ Green and Colby Cohen, chasing him in the background there. So we'll see whether Jamie Craig can make, as Nico Filippetto has a self-spin there on the exit of turn 14. Very lucky for those drivers behind him not to collect him. We'll see what happens here as he backs right up into the lane of another driver there, but no harm, no foul, and we keep racing. Nico Filippetto with an incident there. Nico Filippetto is now dropped right back. He's in the 23rd position. Colby Cohen, another mistake here around the Twin Ring Motegi circuit. So Colby Cohen, after having a great start up 8 positions, now dropped down into 14th. So Colby Cohen, he was up as high as 6th position early in this one, about lap 4, and with those 2 mistakes, he's now dropped back into the 14th and pushes really wide there. Colby Cohen's got Wayne Visser all over the back of him at the moment, so Wayne's having a nice solid start here. He's up 3 positions. To everyone tuning into us here on the Indosim Esports Network tonight for round 6 of the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship, we can see you all tuning in. We hope it's not the drivers, or we hope it's not the drivers. Well, they're trying to drive, but if you are tuning in, be sure to give us a comment, give us a like, and give us a follow to make sure that you don't miss every time we go live here on the Indosim Esports Network, not only for what is the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship, but here's a move for 2nd place, and it is Dan Smith with a big move up the inside of your championship leader, Jordan Mulak, into the turn 13 and 14 final section. Jared Knight, is he going to be able to do something about Jordan Mulak? This has allowed Jared Knight to come right into this battle as well. Andrew Smith's going to be licking his lips a little bit in the front here. It's just allowed him to stretch his legs a little bit at the front. It is only 0.7 of a second, but it is the biggest gap we've seen so far for race 1 tonight here for the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship. So they go across the start-finish line this time. Lap 8 of 11 this time around. It is Andrew Smith, Dan Smith, Jordan Mulak and Jared Knight, your four that you can see on screen. 5th place is Anthony Hulme. He's got 4.3 seconds to the leaders at the moment. He's having a little bit of a battle there with Dave Oliver. So these guys are sitting in the 5th and 6th position. Good to see Anthony Hulme having a good run in race 1 tonight, as Dave Oliver there on the outside did the same as Jamie Craig did the previous lap. So Anthony Hulme was covering his line there as he was entitled to do, and it looked like that Dave Oliver was looking to get the switchback there and just caught the grass on the entry to that corner. So Dave Oliver doing the same thing that we saw Jamie Craig do, and you see Jamie Craig has already made his way back up into the 6th position, as that's put Dave Oliver just on to the 10th position at the moment. So Dave Oliver with a bit of work to do with only a couple of laps to go. Michael Budge with an incident as well. So Michael Budge has come off the track. He's now back in 18th position. He didn't have the best qualifying by his own standards, Michael Budge. He qualified back in the 21st position, and he's in 18th and just had a little bit of an incident there. So it looks like that's Octagon Racing there, Michael Budge. So these guys have different racing names or racing team names than what I am used to. So Andrew Smith now just extended his legs at the front. He's nearly got that 1 second. It's just gone over 1 second now to Dan Smith. Jordan Mulak's got about 7/10 to Dan Smith in front, and Jared Knight about 5/10 or half a second to Jordan Mulak. So they're spreading out a little bit at the front now. Jordan Mulak just struggling through this three-quarter of this race, sitting there in 3rd. I know we say struggling, but we're used to seeing Jordan Mulak fighting for the win. So don't think I'm weird at saying that I'm saying the 3rd place getter is struggling, because Jordan Mulak come into round 6 leading this championship by quite a substantial margin and put it off P2 here for race 1 around 6. He's just dropped back that 1 position. It looks like he's just getting a little bit of push in those front tyres, so they might be just heating up a little bit, might be pushing that car a little bit too hard into those braking zones. He might just have to wind that brake bias back just a tiny bit, although he'll have to be careful because that fuel load is wearing off in these cars. So winding that brake bias back just that little bit too much might give him a little bit of oversteer into that corner, but we'll see what happens with Jordan Mulak. But on board now, Steven Skukovic in the famous number 1. Stevie Skukovic, we talk about him most rounds, and we're talking about him again. He's started 13th. He's up into the 10th position at the moment. That's Adam Proctor, you can see over the back of him at the moment, looking to make the move and poke his nose up into the top 10 through this change of direction, left and right. Now they'll get on the gas and come through this left-hand corner here. It is the hairpin. They'll make their way up to the right-hander up here. Like I said, it is a good passing opportunity, but not this time around for Adam Proctor, not quite close enough. So Adam Proctor with a bad start, actually. He's trying to recover this one. He is down 8 spots from his 3rd starting position. So a lot of pace in the 98 of Adam Proctor tonight for race 1, but he's got a lot of work to do to try and get back into that top 10 and just get some nice solid points here for round 1 as we're about to go into a reverse grid for race 2. But Paul, good race here around Twin Ring Motegi. Andrew Smith with a good little lead at the front there. It looks like it's just stabilised a little bit at the front on my live timing as we still stay on board with Steven Skukovic. But it's still a nice solid run here from the guys as they just go over the line. And this time around, as the leaders have started their 10th lap out of 11.
Yeah, 2 laps to go, Aiden. Not quite the white flag yet. Don't want you calling the white flag lap twice. So
I've done that once, Paul. I think I've learnt my lesson on that. So I think I've got that one right. I can clearly see it's lap 10 in front of me, so I should be right in this one, mate. But as always, you got my back, so thanks for that, mate. But Jordan Mulak there, will he be able to make the move on Dan Smith, or is he happy to just stay in this 3rd position? We're going to see this reverse grid, so these 4 drivers you can see on your screen, regardless of what position they finish here for race 1, will start off the final 2 rows for the 2nd race. At the moment, with laps down, it will be Lindsay Kearns and Ricky Provenzali off your front row for race 2. But let's put our eyes to the battle for the lead. Andrew Smith This looks like, Paul, this might be, if he can just circulate through the back end of this section of the track and go through one more time as they make their way down the downhill straight into the final section of this track for lap 10. If he can navigate this final little section nicely, make no mistakes, hit his braking points, hit his apexes, hit his acceleration points, this will be the first time that we see Andrew Smith from 2 rounds ago since he has actually taken a win here for the Brenline TV ProCar GTE Championship. So we'll see whether he can put that 99 in victory lane once again. And he's looking like he has that pretty much done at the moment, bar anything going wrong. But let's not put the commentator's curse on him yet. But the battle is heating up for 2nd, 3rd and 4th position. That's between Dan Smith, Jordan Mulak and Jared Knight. As I have said numerous times in this broadcast, it is Dan Smith, the better of Jordan Mulak. Jared Knight just dropping off the back of that a little bit. He's about 0.7 of a second off the back of that battle. So will Jordan Mulak want to make a move on Dan Smith, or is he happy to just accumulate those championship points and extend his lead at the point of the championship? He did come into the championship ahead of Jamie Craig, who was 2nd, and Jamie Craig's currently sitting there in 6th spot after having that little bit of a lose earlier. So he's going to gain more points on his closest championship rival of Jamie Craig at the end of this race number 1. But it is the story of Andrew Smith here for race 1. Started off the pole position, got the lead into turn number 1, and he hasn't been headed by the rest of the field. Jordan Mulak was a little bit racy earlier in this one and put a lot of pressure on Andrew Smith. He weathered the storm and put his eyes forward and got this little gap on the rest of the field. So they make their way down the downhill straight for the last time for race 1, round 6 of the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship. Dan Smith getting a little bit closer to Andrew Smith. It's a battle of the Smiths, but it looks like that Andrew Smith has got this one sewn up. He's just got to navigate his way through this tricky little final section of the circuit, down into 2nd gear, gets it rotated through the apex on the power, and your winner for race 1, round number 6 of the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship is Andrew Smith. Home in 2nd spot will be Dan Smith, Jordan Mulak 3rd, and Jared Knight in 4th. This is Martin Hallinan we're on board with now in the 7th position. He'll come home in 7th. Right behind him will be Russ Green and Garth Duffy. There's battles down the field, people trying to make that final position across the start-finish line. So that is currently your top 11 across the start-finish, top 13, sorry, across the start-finish line. Dion Jarvis comes across there in 14th position. 15th position there is Dimitri Agathos. So he made a couple of spots up on his starting position, 4 being the amount he made up. Wayne Visser comes across there in 16th. Nice lonely little race there for Wayne Visser. Solid 2 spots up for him. So Wayne Visser with a solid one there. So the rest of the field just coming through to finish now. Trav Mason, we're on board with. He makes his way through the 14th and final corner for the last time of race 1, and we'll finish this one in the 20th position. Only 3 drivers to make their way across the line now. Brian Bullock will be the next one to come across in 21st. Nico Filippetto will be behind him with a race that had everything for Nico. He's just going to hold off Michael Budge and take the 22nd or 23rd position. But Paul, that is race 1 of round 6 of the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship. Let's go through your final placings. And ladies and gentlemen, this will be a reverse grid for race number 2. So it'll be completely inverted. So we're not going to bring that through to you actually as the grid is already up. So let's bring up the grid for race 2, round 3 of the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship. So it will be Ricky Provenzali off the front row with Lindsay Kearns. Michael Budge and Nico Filippetto will be the 2nd row. Brian Bullock and Trav Mason, your 3rd row. Adrian Gretsch and Tafen Oz Turkman, your 4th row. Brett Smith and Wayne Visser, your 5th row. Dimitri Agathos and Dion Jarvis, your 6th row. Going across to your 7th row will be Colby Coleman, Steve Skukovic. Dave Oliver and Adam Proctor, 15 and 16. Garth Duffy, Russ Green, 17 and 18. Martin Hallinan, Jamie Craig, 19 and 20. Anthony Holm, Jared Knight out of 21 and 22. Jordan Mulak out of 23. Dan Smith, 24. And rounding out your 25 starting grid, tonight for race 2, the reverse grid, is Andrew Smith. So Paul, looking forward to this one. The reverse grids we've seen a lot of action at the start, but the green lights are on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we are green. And Ricky Provençal really bogs it down off the start, allows Lindsay Kearns to get a little bit of a lick up the inside there, but he can't quite get that. That's Michael Budge on the outside. He's just gone wide into turn number 1. So Michael Budge with a great start. That's going to put him right at the back of this one. He's fallen right to the back of the train. So it is Lindsay Kearns at the front as they make their way down into turn number 3. And there's a big incident down into turn number 3. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars involved in that one. A car backwards. They're still trying to make their way through. That was Dimitri Agathos involved in that one. No pace car as yet, or no safety car. So a lot of drivers involved in that one. Let's quickly take this opportunity and go to the simracermerch.com instant replay and see what brought that incident lap 1 of race 2. So thank you to Sim Racer Merch, as we can see on screen there. So we've got the red car on the inside of, I'm sure that the red car had something to do with that. That was Adrian Gretsch on the inside, and he's locked up the rears. Brian Bullock, Trav Mason's involved in that. It looks like Dimitri Agathos in the background was the unsuspected victim. Dave Oliver's a part of that as well. They've all seemed to keep it off the wall, which is good. We've got Tafen Ozturkman in the back, pointing in the wrong direction there as he watches the field go by. Not a good start there by the 777 of Tafen Ozturkman, but it's what we come to expect here on the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship. You do a reverse grid and it mixes up the order, and things like that can happen. So unfortunate for those drivers there, but they'll jump back in and try and make the best of this race and get as far up the grid as we can. But I tell you what, the people that have made some good moves, have a look at Jamie Craig. He started out at 20th position in the 25 car reverse grid. He's up 14 positions at the moment, and he is chasing down, that's Anthony Holm in front of him. So 16 positions up into P5. Andrew Smith and Jordan Mulak, who would have started 2 rows behind him, are in 9th and 10th at the moment. So Jamie Craig has a good opportunity to convert in this race, but Andrew Smith and Jordan Mulak has just made another move there. So Andrew Smith getting really loose on the outside there as they made the move on Garth Duffy. Jordan Mulak and Andrew Smith did. Can Andrew hold it through this right-hander? He does have the right of way through there, so it looks like he'll get that job done and retain that position in 9th position. So I tell you what, Paul, lap 2, lap 11, the reverse grid in this one, 3 of the drivers that started off the back have now made their way up into the top 10 early, as Colby Cohen is having a dreadful night around the twin ring Motegi, and that's the 3rd time tonight in just 13 laps that we have seen him facing in the wrong direction. But the story, ladies and gentlemen, Jamie Craig, who I've just spoken the praises of, up 14 positions on his starting position, has had a big incident and he's now down into 11th. I'm not sure if we can go back to the simracermerch.com instant replay and see what happened to Jamie Craig, because from what I heard in my ear, that was a big lick for Jamie Craig. So Colby Cohen, that was his incident in front. Jamie Craig has just lit up the rears there on the exit of that left and right change of direction. The cars on the inside doing a great job to miss Jamie. You can see Andrew Smith getting around as well. Oh, he's just touched Adam Proctor as he's tried to put his rotate his car into the right direction and put Adam Proctor around. So that's what happened to Jamie Craig. So he's back in 11th at the moment. But back at the point, Ricky Provençal after starting in P1 in this reverse grid, getting caught up in an incident in race 1, which put him in the fortunate position to start off P number 1 for race number 2. Still leading the way over Brett Smith at the moment. Brett started 9th in this race and he is up into the 2nd position. Last lap around, they were pretty tight on time. Ricky Provençal 153.2 as opposed to Brett Smith's 153.3. Just keep one eye on Jordan Mulak. We won't have a look at him now, Paul, if you don't mind. But, oh, there we go. No, sorry. Just keep an eye on Jordan Mulak with his times. Jordan Mulak is behind Jared Knight and Anthony Holm that you can see on screen at the moment. Jordan Mulak is lapping around half a second quicker than everybody in front of him. So Jordan Mulak getting a good run out of the left-hander now. They'll come down into this right-hand section. He's looking up the inside. He thinks better of it. And Anthony Holm just keeps that position as they go through the hairpin and make their way down the downhill straight for the third time of race number 2. Will Jordan Mulak poke the nose up the inside into this right-hander? He has Andrew Smith to worry about in his mirrors as well as they come into this right-hander, into the back end of the section, and it's status quo as they make their way through there. But don't be surprised if Jordan Mulak makes the move very, very quickly. As we go back to your leader, Brett Smith. So Ricky Provenzali's gone. Ricky Provenzali, he's gone into pit lane. So not sure what's happened with Ricky Provenzali. He might have that drive-through penalty from the previous race. The Ricky Provenzali having to serve the penalty from race number 1, and he is coming through pit lane. So that's allowed Brett Smith to take the lead of the race. Steven Skukovic up into second position. Steven Skukovic, a big mover in this one, starting 14th, up into second as well. So does Steven Skukovic have anything for Brett Smith? He's lapping about half a second quicker than Brett at the moment. So Steven Skukovic with a bit of pace underneath the number 1 entry for race number 2. Jared Knight's in there behind him. We saw Jared Knight with a great battle between Jordan Mulak, Andrew Smith, and Dan Smith in the first race. So Jared Knight back into, well, he finished 4th in the first race. He's in a podium position as they currently stand. So Jared Knight, he's got about a second up the road, you can see, and that's what a second looks like, as that's Steven Skukovic just in front of him at the moment. You can see Brett Smith, he's got a lap car in between himself and Steven Skukovic, I believe, at the moment, 1.6 seconds, but we'll see how that goes as they make their way out of the hairpin once again and down the downhill straight. But Michael Budge, we're on board with him in the number 10 at the moment. He started this race out of P3. We saw him into turn number 1, trying to make a move on the outside up into P2, caught the grass and had to get out of the throttle and went right back to the end of the train. And he's made his way up into the 10th position. He does have Colby Cohen up there behind him, who for the 3rd time tonight has found himself facing in the wrong direction around Twin Rig Motegi. So Colby Cohen trying to do a recovery mission here again for race number 2, and he'll be looking to make a move into the top 10 over Michael Budge as they make their way down the main straight once again. And there's, Tafen, is that Tafen? Dave Oliver. Dave Oliver was going up the inside of Tafen Oz-Turkman there, and Tafen just got a little bit too loud on the loud pedal, nearly rotated the car and just went into the side of Dave Oliver, and that's put him in the wrong direction. So don't be surprised if we see race control hand out a little bit of a penalty there to Tafen Oz-Turkman in the 777. So just keep an eye on your screens and see whether Tafen does get a penalty from race control. We'll see that come up on the bottom of your screens and come through our ears. So, or virtually through our ears anyway, which we don't actually hear, but we can see it there on screen. So just keep an eye on Tafen Oz-Turkman and see whether he gets a penalty. Those rear brakes are really glowing on that Porsche 992 as they're racing under lights here around Twin Ring Motegi. But Steven Skukovic now is being hassled by Jared Knight for the 2nd position. They've narrowed that gap a little bit on Brett Smith at the front, so this could become a 6-car battle for the lead of the motor race sooner than we think. That's Jordan Mulak there. He's being battled by Andrew Smith. Andrew Smith looking to get past Jordan Mulak, and it looks like Andrew Smith got a little bit of pace on Jordan once again, as he did in race 1. So Andrew Smith's going to want to get past Jordan Mulak, I'd suggest, quite quickly, so he can then put his eyes forward towards Anthony Holm, Jared Knight and Steven Skukovic to try and take advantage of this battle that is happening just up the road in front of him. So will Andrew Smith be able to make that move? But this gap at the front too is definitely visibly closing. You can see it right there. Brett Smith has now pretty much all but been caught by Steven Skukovic, Jared Knight and Anthony Holm, this second group, as they start lap 6 of 11. So last lap around, to give you an idea of the difference of pace, Steven Skukovic just took 3 seconds out of 3/10 of a second rather, out of Brett Smith last time around. Brett Smith will just want to be able to race his own race at the moment, not look in his rear vision mirror and just drive what's in front of him, as the battles will heat up behind him, and that will allow him to keep the lead of this motor race as long as he can. As we see that right now, the battle for second, Jared Knight with a big plunge up the inside there, and that didn't go to plan. That's allowed the 3 drivers behind him to take advantage of that. So that's Jordan Mulak's taken advantage of that and now hopped up into the second position over Anthony Holm. Anthony's trying to take it back at him here through the left-hand corner, so he's not letting Jordan Mulak have this one easy. Anthony Holm fighting for that second position, and he holds onto it rather so far, as Jordan Mulak just pokes it up inside there through the hairpin. Great run on the outside for Anthony Holm. He's going to be on the right side of the racetrack as they make their way up into this right-handed hairpin here. And looks like Andrew Smith's trying to take the opportunity of this and follow Anthony Holm there. He couldn't quite get that done. Jordan Mulak does the switchback as they make their way down the downhill straight for the 6th time of 11 for race number 2. Jordan Mulak's going to be brave under brakes down into this right-hand corner, and looks like he's got that one done. So Jordan Mulak now makes the move on Anthony Holm up into the second position. Can Andrew Smith follow the likes of Jordan Mulak and take that final step on the podium? He's definitely going to have a go at doing that. Andrew Smith, we see, is a very racy racer and has the pace to boot. So Andrew Smith will be making the move at his first available opportunity. But as I said, Brett Smith has just had his eyes forward in this one. Oh, as Steven Skukovic, after being in a nice solid position, has just had a bit of a moment into turn number 1 and 2. So Steven Skukovic has dropped back into the 8th position. But we'll go on to the leader, Paul, because he deserves this one. Brett Smith at the moment, we're only lap 7 of 11. He's up 8 positions. He started out of the 9th position. He is 2.3 seconds up the road to your championship leader, Jordan Mulak, as Andrew Smith makes the move on Anthony Holm to take the 3rd position in this one. Nico Filippetto off into the side of the racetrack there in the background. So another disastrous race for Nico Filippetto in the 77 entry. But back to Brett Smith. He's now 2 seconds up the road to Jordan Mulak. Jordan is a little bit of a quicker driver tonight around the Twin Ring Motegi circuit. We'll see whether Jordan has enough laps left. He's got 4 laps next time across the strike to be able to make an indent into this 2-second lead. But Brett Smith doing a great job just driving his line, hitting his braking points and hitting his apexes as he just goes a little bit wide through that right-hander there to make his way down the downhill straight once again. So that's actually lost him half a second on Jordan Mulak. So the battle for the lead's going to heat up for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Don't tune away from us here on the IndySim Esports Network. It's race number 2. It's lap 7 of 11, the reverse grid, and the battle between Brett Smith, Andrew Smith, Jordan Mulak, Anthony Holm, Jared Knight, Dan Smith, Jamie Craig. All those guys are lining up in the background as you can see them make their way through the final turn. They want to bite at the cherry to take race 2. There's a little bit of a gap between them at the moment, but if Jordan Mulak and Andrew Smith start battling with Brett Smith here, these gaps will close up very, very quickly. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are tuning in here on the IndySim Esports Network, as this one is about to heat up very quickly, across our YouTube and Facebook platforms, be sure to chuck us a comment into our stream. We like to see your comment. Please share our streams, get everyone involved. The more people watch, the more people you share it to, and get us to like and follow our page, the more content we can bring you here on the IndySim Esports Network. As we see Ricky Provenzale there in the number 46 car, just making the move on young Michael Budge. So Ricky Provenzale's now jumped up into the 10th position. Ricky Provenzale, thank you, Paul, in my ear. I'll get that right, Ricky, at some stage, mate. Sorry, my apologies, but doing a great job there up into the 10th position. So Paul's giving me heaps in my ear, as he does every night, but that is Ricky Provenzale for anyone that wants to know. So for the first 5 rounds, I called it Ricky Provenzale and done that several times tonight. So we see a couple of guys tuning in to I don't have all the comments coming through, but I can see it on my screen, on another screen. Matt Feldman tuning in once again. Sorry to not see you out there, Matt, for this round number 6. We look forward to hopefully seeing you for round number 7. But here is the change for the lead, ladies and gentlemen. It's happened sooner than I thought. Jordan Mulak's made that move on Brett Smith. Andrew Smith now comes up a part of this battle as well. He's ranging right up onto the back of Brett Smith. He's going to want to make the move on Brett as quick as he can to see whether he can chase down Jordan Mulak. But this is the fight for the lead of the motor race, ladies and gentlemen. They take the 9th lap as they make their way across the strike this time. 3 laps to go. 3 cars in the battle. Jordan Mulak, Brett Smith and Andrew Smith. Anthony Holmes sitting in the background waiting to pick up the crumbs if something goes pear-shaped in this little battle. So we'll see how that plays out as these 3 laps unfold before our eyes. So Jordan Mulak just extending his legs there over this little gap between Brett Smith and Andrew Smith. Andrew Smith is going to want to make this move really quickly, otherwise his chance to go 2 from 2 is going to fall out of his grasp. He's going to want to make this move as quick as he can. Brett Smith doesn't have to let him go. It's racing. So let's see as this one heats up. They make their way through the very fast right-hand corner. He's going to poke himself up the inside into this left-hand corner. Very tricky place to make a move, and he's thought better of it because that could have ended in, excuse me, I'm getting too excited, in absolute carnage. So Andrew Smith thought better of that, but he's in the right position there as they make their way into the hairpin. He thought better of that one again. All this battling and not being able to clear Brett Smith is allowing Jordan Mulak to slowly drive off into the distance. So through the right-hand hairpin, will he get a good run on Brett Smith out of here, down the downhill straight and put the 99 in position to be able to make a move into the right-hander at the end of this straight? Doesn't look like he's quite close enough there as he'll range up under brakes down into this right-hander. Have a look at those rear brakes glow as they make their way through the apex. What great sights by Paul here on the Indesim Esports Network. So Jordan Mulak still extending that lead at the front. He's nearly got it to 1 second, but this is the battle for the 2nd and 3rd place on the podium here for race number 2 tonight. They've now gone across the strike. They take number 10 of 11, Andrew Smith and Brett Smith. It's the battle of the Smiths. Who's going to win this battle? But all this is allowing Anthony Holm to slowly range up onto the back of the battle as well and almost make it a 3-car battle for the final step on the podium. You can see Dan Smith just in the background there waiting to see if something happens. So Dan Smith, don't write him off from an unlikely podium here if something goes pear-shaped in front. But Anthony Holm, a nice solid race tonight, Paul. He's doing a great job there in the 96. We've seen him in the top 5 or 6 for both the races so far, and a little bit more of a solid round, which we've become accustomed to see here for the Blendline TV ProCar GT Championship for round number 6.
Definitely, and yeah, Anthony looking to find some form once again after a couple of bad rounds previously. We did see him up the front in the earlier rounds, and looking to find his way back up there once again.
Yeah, and he's doing a good job doing that at the moment. P number 6 in this strength of field is definitely nothing to sneeze at as we see the battle at the moment between Jared Knight and Steven Skukovic. So Steven Skukovic has Jared Knight all over the back of him at the moment. But here's the move, ladies and gentlemen, through the final turn. It is, sorry, they make their way down the downhill straight, and it looks like that Andrew Smith is going to get this one done as they make their way into this heavy braking section. The Smith drag race, and it's the Smith that beats the Smith. So your guess on which Smith? It's the Smith's battle. So Andrew Smith gets that one done over Brett Smith and makes his way up into P2. It looks like he's a little bit far behind to be able to bridge that gap on the leader of this race at the moment, Jordan Mulak, as they take the white flag this time around for race number 2. Jordan Mulak takes that white flag over Andrew Smith. Brett Smith's going to do good here to hold on to a podium because Anthony Holm is ranging right up onto the back of him, as you can see him just in the background there. So will Anthony Holm have something for Brett Smith, or will Brett Smith have the answer for Anthony Holm and hold on to what will be a much deserved P3 here for race number 2. We will go over into a quick stopover before we bring you race number 3, I believe, ladies and gentlemen. Just allow us to get our voice back, go and have a drink, and get ready to bring you all the action for what will be race 3 of the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship here from Twin Ring Motegi. But it is Jordan Mulak leading your way here for the final lap. He's got 1 second over Andrew Smith. So it is the same finishing order from race number 1, just reversed. This time Jordan Mulak has the better of Andrew Smith after Andrew Smith got the better of Jordan Mulak in race number 1. We have a little bit of a way to go around this final lap though. So it's definitely not over. Andrew Smith has just made it to under 1 second, but that's enough for Jordan Mulak. He just needs to manage his way through the final half of this lap and he will get the job done. But this is the battle for third. I told you it was going to heat up, ladies and gentlemen. Anthony Holmes got the run as Andrew Smith did on the previous lap down the downhill straight, and Anthony Holmes going to be in the prime position into this downhill braking zone to take that third position off Brett Smith. Brett Smith, who led majority of this race, is going to do well to hold on to that third. He's got nowhere to go there. Anthony Holm has prime position and looks like he's going to hold on that as they make their way through the final turn, 13, 14 through Victory Corner, and race number 2, round number 6. Your winner is Jordan Mulak from Andrew Smith, Anthony Holm and Brett Smith, your 4, Dan Smith, your 5, Paul. What a race. What a race for race number 2, round number 6 of the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship as we see Garth Doffey come across the line in P11. But as always, Paul, I tell you what, Jordan Mulak and Andrew Smith, after starting P24 and 25, they come up to finish P1 and 2. So plenty of pace in the 196 and 99 cars tonight. They did a great job. Admittedly, though, with that incident earlier in this one, it made half the field pretty much get tangled up in that. So it made their life ever more easy as we see a battle coming on to the main straight between Dion Jarvis and Lindsay Kearns or Wayne Visser. So nice little battle there. But Paul, what a race for race number 2 as the rest of the drivers come across the line.
Definitely the boys turning up the heat and the action tonight, that's for sure, at Twin Ring Motegi. We've seen plenty of dive bomb moves there and all the action on the Intesim Esports Network tonight.
Yeah, and it's been an absolute pleasure to be able to bring it to everybody on the Intesim Esports Network tonight. I hope you're enjoying all the action here for round 6 of the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship. We're 2/3 of the way through your broadcast. Be sure, like I said, to share the stream and get everyone involved. But let's go through and bring up the official race results for race number 2, round number 6 of the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship, if we can do that. So Jordan Mulak comes home your winner. Andrew Smith and Anthony Holm, your top 3. Brett Smith, Dan Smith, your top 5. Jamie Craig, Stephen Skukovic, Jared Knight, Colby Cohen, and Ricky Provenzali, your 10. Garth Duffy, Michael Budge, Dave Oliver, Tafan Oz-Turkman with a good recovery drive, 14. Wayne Visser, your 15. Dion Jarvis, Lindsay Kearns, and Dimitri Agathos, 16, 17, and 18. 19th position, Trav Mason, rounding out your 20, Adrian Gretsch, after an unfortunate race there. Nico Filippetto, 21st. Adam Proctor in 22nd. Brian Bullock, 23rd. Russ Green will come home in the 24th position. And rounding out your 25 for race number 2 is Mr. Martin Hallinan. So we have finished race number 2. We've gone into the warm-up session. They're having a little bit of a warm-up session here before we bring you race number 3. Let's go on board with the driver on your screen at the moment, and let's do a couple of laps around the Twin Rig Motegi circuit in the Porsche 992 GT3. there you go, ladies and gentlemen. A couple of laps around Twin Rig Motegi with Russ Green. We'll just bring down young Colby Cohen into the broadcast booth. Colby, I hope you've got a copy with us up here. Will you go get ready for race number 3? Have you got a copy?
Sure do, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Sorry to bring you up unannounced. We just thought we'd have a little bit of a chat with you before you go into race number 3. A little bit of an up and down night for you tonight in the 25 entry. Shown a lot of pace, but in the first 13 laps across the 2 races, you were pointing the wrong direction on 3 occasions.
Yeah, a little bit of a mix of me having some dramas with my pedals and just being a kook, more or less. So, yeah, not too much fun, but I'll persevere.
Well, how are you liking the 992 around Twin Ring Motegi? Obviously, you've got a lot of pace in the 25 car, being well and truly inside the top 10 at the start of both those races. How are you liking the track number 1 before you go into the race, and also how you think you're going to go in race number 3?
The track's pretty good. It's pretty technical, actually, to try and get a decent lap around it. It seems like there's a few different lines here and there and a few different methods, so that's fun. I don't think I've got it right once, so... yeah, plenty to learn. As far as the race goes, who knows? It could all be over at the first corner, or we might stay clear of it and end up all right. So we'll see how we end up.
Yeah, well, we saw in race 2, the reverse grid, that there was definitely a lot of action there on the second lap, I believe, or first or second lap, I believe it was, and about 6 or 8 cars got involved in that one. So hopefully you can have the 25 nice and clean for the start of race number 3, and we can be talking to you at the end of the race.
Sounds good, mate. Fingers crossed.
No worries. Best of luck, mate. But we'll move you back up into your channel, and we wish you all the best.
Appreciate it. Cheers.
Well, there we go, Paul. The 25 of Colby Cohen making himself available during this warm-up session ahead of what will be race number 3 of the Blendline TV ProCar GT Championship here from the Twin Ring Motegi circuit. Interesting to get a little bit of an insight into the drivers before they go out onto the track for race number 3. Colby then mentioning that he's having a little bit of issue with his pedals, and then obviously a little bit of an issue with himself by his own admission. So hopefully he has a better run here for race number 3, Paul.
Yeah, fingers crossed for Colby. As I mentioned to you, I turned a couple of laps as well just before the broadcast started, and did find the grass seemed to jump out at you on the edges there. There's not much buffer there to stop you from running over the grass and losing the back of the car there. But one thing I've got to say there, Aidan, I don't know about you, but I'm enjoying seeing all these cones get blasted across the corners here.
Yeah, it's something a little bit different to bring to you here on the InterSim Esports Network. They get caught up underneath the cars, and they go for a lap around the Twin Ring Motegi circuit as well. So I'm not sure they're part of the entry list tonight, the cones, but they're definitely, some of them are doing more laps than the drivers tonight. So something a little bit different, but something that's really great as well. And we've seen, might be Jason Holdsworth, Jace Hole. I don't know if that's Jaso Holdsworth, but tuning into the broadcast, and he loves the race under the lights, and so do we here on the InterSim Esports Network. But we are through the practice session or warm-up session ahead of race number 3, so it's time to bring you up the grid for race number 3, round number 6 of the Blendline TV ProCar GT Championship. So Jordan Mulak and Andrew Smith will be your front row. Anthony Holm, Brett Smith, Dan Smith, Jamie Craig, Stephen Skukovic, Jared Knight, Colby Cohen, Ricky Provenzel, Garth Duffy and Michael Budge rolling across the page. So then we'll have Dave Oliver, Tafanos Turkman, Wayne Visser, Dion Jarvis, Lindsay Kearns, Dimitri Agathos, Trav Mason, Adrian Gretsch, Nico Filippetto, Adrian Proctor, Brian Bullock, Russ Green 24, and rounding out your 25 car grid. I didn't quite get to that as we are green for race number 3. Jordan Mulak with a great jump on the outside line. He has absolutely launched ahead of Andrew Smith. Anthony Holm with a good little jump there. He's maintained his 3rd position through turn number 1. Brett Smith has Dan Smith having a battle with him as they make their way up into this left-hander. We saw a lot of carnage here for race number 2. And will we see it again as they make their way through this double left-hander? There's a car going around the background, and that is Dion Jarvis grabbing way too much rear brake there, and he's gone around through the 3rd corner. Not as much carnage, people getting out of that one quite scot-free at the moment, but back to the point. Oh, it looks like Dan Smith. Dan Smith has gone off in this one. So Dan Smith, a car that we expected to possibly feature in the podium here for race number 3. And Colby Cohen, the guy we spoke to before this race, has made another incident, and he's facing in the wrong direction for the 4th time tonight. And Colby Cohen's just decided to eject himself out of this motor race. So not sure if I just put the commentator's curse on Colby there, Paul, but not the way he wanted to start this one. You can see Jamie Craig there in the blue car. Brett Smith making the move on Jared Knight through the right-hand hairpin, and they make their way up and down the downhill straight for the first time of race number 3 tonight. Jordan Mulak's extended his legs at the front, but this is the battle of the motor race at the moment during lap 1. Jamie Craig, Brett Smith, Jared Knight in behind Brett Smith. Steven Skukovic there. Brett Smith goes a little bit deep into the corner. That's allowed Steven Skukovic Jared Knight, sorry. And that's allowed him, Steven Skukovic, to make his way up a position as well. Jared Knight just holds on to that position from Garth Duffy. It looked like Garth was going, as Ricky Provenzali gets loose off the exit of the final turn. And, Dave Oliver, as I got Paul in my ear. Can't keep up. But Dave Oliver makes a mistake there on the exit of the final turn. That allowed Ricky Provenzali, as I got it the wrong way around, to make the move there. But here's the battle. Anthony Holm has Andrew Smith all over the back of him. Andrew Smith just getting caught again early in this one. Probably just after having a great night in the office tonight, a P1 and a P number 2. Probably just erring on the side of caution. As I say that, he just pokes it down the inside of Anthony Holm into that right-hander. Didn't quite get the job done. Got his nose chopped off a little bit. But he's going to make his way up into this very fast left and right-hander as they make their way through there. So they'll come through this very fast left and right-hander. You'll have to follow the leader a little bit through here, gets a little bit of aero wash and pushes very right through that first left-hander. That's sacrificed a lot of exit speed for the right-hander. So Anthony Holm will keep that position for the time being. Nico Filippetto involved in another incident as he's had an off-track, and he's now back in the 15th position. So Martin Hallinan just making the position on Nico Filippetto. So I tell you what, Paul, Nico Filippetto is, as the car's very, very slow in front of them. Not sure what's happening there. There's incidents everywhere. Let's just let that all play out. That looks like that was Jared Knight. It is Jared Knight, as the cameras are absolutely having a mind of their own through there for some reason. But Jared Knight, he had a big incident. So Jared Knight, he started this one really, really well, and he was fighting for the top 5, and he's had an incident. So Jared Knight, Dave Oliver going off as well. He's moving backwards. He's now gone onto the grass. He's taken a little bit of a shortcut through the final section of the racetrack. Have a look at all those cars in pit lane. It shouldn't be that way, as Tayfun Turkman makes his way into pit lane as well. So 5 cars into pit lane early in this one. But it is Jordan Mulak, 2 seconds or 2.5 seconds, the better of Anthony Holm and Jamie Craig. Andrew Smith dropped back to 5th after battling Anthony Holm there. So Andrew Smith has had an incident somewhere along the motor track at the moment, or the racetrack. So Andrew Smith's got a little bit of catching up to do. He's 2 seconds behind Brett Smith, and Jamie Craig's a further 1.5 seconds up the road as well. But it is all Jamie Craig early in this one. Dimitri Agathos there back in 9th. He's having a little bit of a battle, or a soon-to-be battle, with Michael Budge that you can see in front of him at the moment as they make their way through that change of direction, left and right once again. So good to see Dimitri Agathos up into the 10 once again here for the Brandline TV ProCar GTE Championship. He's had a little bit of a tough night at the office, not where we're used to seeing Dimitri. We're used to seeing him solidly inside the top 10. And he's done that again for this race, but the previous races he's done a little bit tough. So we'll see whether he has anything for Michael Budge as this race unfolds, as they're only lap 3 into lap number 11. Adam Proctor is in the 10th position as well. He started out at 22 after an unfortunate race number 2, and he's already moved up 12 positions into P number 10. So a good job by Adam Proctor. Not to be outdone by Russ Green too. Oh, as Dimitri Agathos, I've just put the commentator's curse on him. Dimitri Agathos out of the 9th position, makes a big mistake in the final 2 corners into victory corner, and it's going to put him right back in the field as he makes his way across the start-finish line once again. So that puts Dimitri Agathos back into the 15th position. Ricky Provenzali here, we're on board with him sitting in the 6th position at the moment. Steven Skukovic is your man. You can see him behind him, just a little bit off the battle at the moment. So Ricky Provenzali with a little bit in no man's land at the moment. That's Andrew Smith. You can see up the road from him. Andrew Smith trying to fight his way back after fighting Anthony Holm for the 2nd position early in this one. Dropped back to 5th. That's Brett Smith, you can see in front of Anthony at the moment. So I tell you what tonight, Paul, it's been the battle of the Smiths wherever we've seen on the track at the moment. So race number 1, we saw a battle of the Smiths early. Race number 2, we definitely saw a battle of the Smiths late in that one. And early in this one for race number 3, we see the Smiths battling once again.
Well, there's no Mrs. Smith on the track, so we can't say Mr. and Mrs. Smith like the movie, but definitely Andrew and Brett, race 2, race 3 going at it, and we saw Dan Smith earlier in that race, in race 1 as well, in the 5-car battle there throughout most of the race.
Well, you're right. We don't have a Mrs. Smith, so we'll just call them Mr. and Mr. Smith. I don't know if that makes any sense at all. I come out with some random stuff here on the InterSim Esports Network, but Mr. and Mr. Smith battling it out for the 4th and 5th position. What would make it even harder is if they were sponsored by Smith's Chips. That'd just absolutely do my head in. But Andrew Smith with a solid run down the main straight. Looks like he's going to get that job done on Brett Smith down into the 1 and 2 turns. Brett Smith trying to cut back a little bit there on the second part of the corner, but just thought better of it as Andrew Smith shut the door on him there. So Andrew Smith now makes the move up into the 4th position. There's cones going everywhere there in the foreground as Jamie Craig just took a big bunch of them on the entry into turn number 3. But here's the move between Adam Proctor and Michael Budge. So Adam Proctor looks like he's getting that one done on Michael Budge out of that turn, and Dan Smith right up in behind this battle as well. So this is the battle for 8, 9 and 10 as Dan Smith takes advantage of that previous move and moves up the inside of Michael Budge. Good run off the corner there by Michael Budge. If he can hold it on the outside here, he's going to have track position, but he's just thought better of it and allows Dan Smith to make that move on him. Dan Smith looking a little bit racy there, poking his nose up the inside of Adam Proctor. Not a good place to possibly make a pass there. You've got to be very decisive if you want to make a pass through that section of the track, and we saw Dan Smith think better of that. So Dan Smith very racy though. We'll see whether he can make the move sooner rather than later on Adam Proctor. It looks like he's going to as he moves up the inside there. Adam Proctor just opens the door and says, there you go, Dan, have that one. So Dan Smith makes his way up into the 8th position over Adam Proctor as they make their way down the downhill straight once again. So Dan Smith has a further 5 seconds up the road to Steven Skukovic is in the 7th position. But here's a nice little battle for you, ladies and gentlemen. Adrian Gretsch and Dion Jarvis are part of this little battle. So we'll see what happens here. Looks like I've just heard in my ear, Dan Smith has just crashed as well. So Dan Smith has had an incident. I'm not sure, Paul, if we can go back to the simracermerch.com instant replay and have a look at what happened to Dan Smith. So we can see Dan Smith coming into this heavy downhill braking section, comes through the right-hander, just caught the inside curb, got on the gas before the wheels had come back on the ground, and the car following him has had a big lick into the back of him. So that's Adam Proctor getting involved in that one there. Nowhere for Adam Proctor to go as Dan Smith got loose on the exit. Adam Proctor only losing 1 position to Michael Budge through that little exchange, but that's not going to be good for the front end damage there on his car. So back at the lead at the moment, it's status quo. Your championship leader Your race 2 winner is Jordan Mulak. He's got 2.5 seconds or 2.3 seconds on Anthony Holm. In saying that, Anthony Holm took a 1/10 of a second out of Jordan Mulak last time around the circuit. So we'll see whether Anthony Holm does have anything for Jordan Mulak in race number 2. Jamie Craig's going to have something to say about it as well, because he's up in behind Anthony Holm. He was a 1/10 slower than Anthony Holm last lap around. So we'll see whether Jamie Craig increases that pace and narrows that gap on Anthony Holm as this race progresses into the second half. We're now into the second half of race number 3. You blink and you miss it here on the Indocin Esports Network. 6 laps into 11, 7 this time across the strike. So your top 5 across the strike for the start of lap 7 is Jordan Mulak, Anthony Holm, Jamie Craig, Andrew Smith, and Brett Smith. Ricky Provenzali will be in your 6th position. So you can see Ricky Provenzali there. He's got Brett Smith just in front of him. So does Ricky Provenzali have anything for Brett Smith in this one? Is Ricky Provenzali able to jump up and possibly get a top 5 finish here for race number 3? He's shown a bit of pace tonight. He was quick in practice. He's had a little bit of a rough night. He's been involved in a couple of things, but so has a lot of drivers. So he's doing a great job here in race number 3. He's going to have an opportunity very shortly, I'd suggest, to make that move on Brett Smith. So they make we just go back to Russ Green in 10th position as there was nearly contact. And again, we're on board with Russ Green. And Dan Smith came really hot under brakes there. Let's go back to the simracermerch.com instant replay and have a look at that one, because Dan Smith was involved in another incident there. So we'll see Russ Green, Dan Smith we're on board with him there. That's the previous one. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. We'll bring you the other one back up. So you can see Russ Green up in the foreground. Dan Smith is going really late under brakes there into this turn, trying to make the move done. He can see that he's broke way too late and is going to run straight into the side of the preceding driver. He's backed out of that, turned left instead of getting into the back of Russ Green, and that has had nowhere to go for the driver on the outside there. So Dan Smith trying to take avoiding action of what he could see was an out-braking manoeuvre that went very wrong there. Was not good for the driver on the outside. But Russ Green sitting there in 12th position. Russ Green's up 12 positions on his starting position in this one, Paul. He is up into the 12th position after starting out of P number 24. But here we go, the battle between Adam Proctor and Michael Budge. Adam Proctor just getting the better of Michael Budge down into turn number 1 and 2. Michael Budge says, I'm doing the crossover or the switchback, whatever you want to call it. He backed out of that because Adam Proctor turned right down on him. So Michael Budge thought better of that. He's just putting himself into the mirrors there of Adam Proctor, trying to unsettle him a little bit as they make their way through this double left-hander on to this straight here. Steven Skukovic is heating up part of this battle as well. So anything goes pear-shaped with these guys in front. Steven Skukovic is going to be there to take the crumbs. Martin Hallinan in the 10th position, rather, not Steven Skukovic. He is in front of it. So, sorry, Paul, I struggle to hear you in my ear sometimes, mate. You'll have to speak up a little bit. But Martin Hallinan there in the 10th position over Dave Oliver. Dave Oliver's in behind. So Dave Oliver, Martin Hallinan in front, Michael Budge in front of them as well, and Adam Proctor. But the lead of the motor race is now extended out to 3.3 seconds as this battle heats up into the right-hand hairpin. So Dave Oliver there on the outside of Martin Hallinan. Can he get that done as he tries to get a big run on the outside? Martin Hallinan gave him no room on the outside there, and very lucky to get away with that one there as they make their way down the downhill straight once again. So Dave Oliver's going to have to reset and try and get that move done once again. All's fair in racing there, but here's the battle for the 3rd position. Andrew Smith has made his way right up onto the back of Anthony Holm. Anthony Holm was in the second position. We missed it while we were excited at the front. Jamie Craig made the move on Anthony Holm. He was in second position in this one, so we missed that move. We do apologise to you, ladies and gentlemen. So Anthony Holm has made his way up into second position. You can see him off into the distance down the road. But this is the battle, lap 9 of 11. Andrew Smith and Anthony Holm. Who's going to get the better of this one? Andrew Smith last lap around was about 3 seconds quicker than Anthony Holm. So Anthony must have had an incident last lap around, which allowed Jamie Craig to get that second position. So 2.5 laps left for Anthony Holm to hold on to the podium position for race number 3. Can he do it, or will it be Andrew Smith being able to take that position? It has been all Jordan Mulak for race number 3, but this is the battle that we want to keep on board with as Andrew Smith goes up the inside and just looks like Anthony Holm made a bit of a mistake there into the left-hand hairpin, just locking the inside front, and that has just gifted the position to Andrew Smith. So he's made his way up into third position as they make their way down the downhill straight for the third to last time tonight. So only 2.25 laps to go for round number 6 of the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship. Jordan Mulak, Jamie Craig and Andrew Smith, year 3, as it looks like Dave Oliver has got that job done on Russ Green in behind him. Dave Oliver has Martin Helena and Michael Budge 2 wide in front of him as they make their way down the downhill straight. Michael Budge on the outside, Martin Helena on the inside. Looks like he's going to get that job done through here. Michael Budge nearly gives him a little bit of a tap for good measure as they make their way through the right-hand corner. David Oliver, yeah, Michael Budge gives him a budge, pardon the pun. But Michael Budge gets that job done, but that's allowed Dave Oliver into this fight as well. Oh, as Russ Green has gone and had a big lick into the inside wall there after getting way too hard on the loud pedal. So that's Nico Filippetto, Dimitri Agathos, you see, making their way past him. So that's very unfortunate there for Russ Green. There's Nico Filippetto there in the 12th position. It hasn't been the night for Nico Filippetto, so he'll be happy with a 12th position so far in this one. Mainly out of trouble. He is up 9 positions on his starting position, so he'll be enjoying the 12th position at the moment. But Dimitri Agathos, he'll be looking to make the move. He's had a couple of mistakes tonight. He was in the top 10 as we see a car around in the front. That looks like Martin Hallinen's had an incident off the hairpin as well. Looks like he's just lit him up off the hairpin. So Martin Hallinen's now dropping all the way back into the 16th position. So does Dimitri Agathos have anything for Nico Filippetto here in the final stages of race number 3 as he just puts his car in the mirror there? He played a fake on Nico Filippetto, but Nico was wiser to that one and goes, mate, there's nowhere to pass there. You're not going to go there. So he just holds his line and he keeps that position number 11 from Dimitri Agathos. Dimitri Agathos trying really hard there in the 12th position as he goes a little bit hard into the left-hand hairpin. But here's the battle for second place. So Andrew Smith's now made the move on Jamie Craig. That's happened in a blink of an eye, Paul. He was about 1.5 seconds up the road, and now Andrew Smith has taken the second place. The simracermerch.com instant replay will show us what happened here as they make their way down the downhill stretch into this downhill right-hander. We'll see Jamie Craig just on the inside there. Looks like he might have got a little bit of an off track there maybe, or a little bit of loose off that corner. So that's Jamie Craig back into the third position. But we are white flag for race number 3, round number 6 of the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship. And it is all Jordan Mulak, your championship leader. 5.6 seconds the better of Andrew Smith in second. Jamie Craig, he's only 0.5 of a second up the road of Anthony Holm. So, sorry, Jamie Craig's only 0.5 of a second off the back of Andrew Smith, my apologies. So the battle's on for second, but it's all Jamie Craig in this one, Jordan Mulak rather, in this one at the moment. So Jordan Mulak, your championship leader, coming into the round by a quite substantial margin. Come into the round off P number 2 for race number 1, finished P number 2. Off P number 24 for race number 2, the reverse grid, came home with a last to first finish and finished in P number 1. And for race number 3, started off the pole and finishes on the pole by the looks of it as he makes his way down the downhill straight for the last time tonight through this downhill right-hand corner. Only 3 corners to go for Jordan Mulak as he makes his way through this double left-hander into the final 14th turn, which is Victory Corner. And your winner, your double winner tonight for race number 3, round number 6 of the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship is your championship leader, Jordan Mulak. Andrew Smith comes home in P2. Jamie Craig in P4. Anthony Holm holds on for number 4. Jamie Craig P3 rather. Anthony Holm P4. Ricky Provenzali gets his top 5 finish. Brett Smith home in 6. Steven Skukovic comes home in position 7. But this battle between Dimitri Agathos and Nico Filippetto has gone right down to the final corner, and Nico Filippetto rather has the better of that battle. Here's another battle into the final stages. Garth Duffy and Martin Hallinan. Who's going to get the better of this one? Martin Hallinan has that currently, and he's going to hold on for that 16th position over the 17th position of Garth Duffy. So, Paul, all the rest are a lap down here for race number, as they're getting really, really nearly into each other and loose there, as the leaders are actually, it looks like they're just doing a few skids on the warm down lap. So they're having a bit of fun here, Paul. It is, that is what concludes race number 3. So just bring this up so I can see what I'm doing. But Paul, race number 3, it definitely didn't disappoint again. A lot of individual incidents where drivers made mistakes, and but no surprise to see Jordan Mulak take the spoils off pole as he makes his first mistake of the night on the warm down lap. So Jordan, you got to feel a little bit embarrassed there. You just spun out in front of everyone on the warm down lap, mate. I've done that before in my race in real life too. It's not a good feeling, but you deserve it tonight because he comes home with 2 race wins tonight, Paul. So Jordan Mulak comes home with the 2 race wins tonight. He will extend his lead at the top of the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship. But I tell you what, as the drivers go across the line and celebrate what was a great night at the Twin Ring Motegi circuit, let's go through your final results for what was race number 3. Jordan Mulak, Andrew Smith and Jamie Craig rounds out your podium. Anthony Holm, Ricky Provenzale, Brett Smith, Steven Skukovic, Adam Proctor, Dave Oliver and Michael Budge round out your 10. Nico Filippetto, and it's not Provenzali, Ricky, I'm sorry. Nico Filippetto, Dimitri Agathos, Russ Green, Dion Jarvis and Adrian Gretsch, your 15. Martin Hallinan, 16. Garth Duffy, 17. Dan Smith, 18. As we roll across the page, in the 19th position was Colby Cohen. He has a night he'd want to forget. Lindsay Kearns in 20th. Tafan Ozturkman, 21st. Trav Mason, 22nd. Wayne Visser, 23rd. Brian Bullock, 24th. And Jared Knight will round out your 25-car grid for race number 3, round number 6 of the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship. Of course, a big thank you. We haven't had a chance much tonight to thank the amazing sponsors because it was a super sprint round and it all happened so thick and fast for us here on the Intersim Esports Network. But a big thank you to Affordable Web Solutions. If you're in the need, or you do need websites or anything of those likes for your business, if you are reforming after COVID, or you just want to build your brand, Affordable Web Solutions is your place to go. South Gundagai Automotive for all your automotive needs. Down in the South Gundagai region, they also offer race car preparation and setups as well. So if you have that special car in your shed that you take out on the weekend and race around the real tracks, and you're down in the South Gundagai region, please shout out to South Gundagai Automotive and support the people that support the iRacing community. Of course, Viken Media. Do not forget Viken Media. They are a newly formed business that do all your social media content and digital photos, etc., etc. So get on to Viken Media if you do have a need for all that. So, Paul, round 6 of the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship is all but done and dusted. We will bring the drivers up into the booth very, very shortly as we just wait for them to come down into the green room so we can bring them up. But it was a good night at the office, one that went by very, very quickly, as we usually see here for the super sprint round. No pace car interventions tonight, which allowed it to go a lot quicker. But I tell you what, the action definitely was thick and fast.
Definitely, and coming into round 6, we didn't get a chance to run through the results for everyone tuning in tonight on the InterSim Esports Network, but coming into round 6, our race leader currently and two-time winner tonight, Jordan Mulak, leading the way with, we've got almost a 500 odd point lead there over Jamie Craig. So Jamie Craig finishing race 3 in P3 there as well, and Andrew Smith in P2 down a few spots there, but that'll certainly help make his way back up the leaderboard there. Aiden?
Yeah, most definitely will. Jordan Mulak, as we've said, will extend his lead at the front. Jamie Craig with a couple of solid nights tonight. Colby Cohen with an unfortunate night. That might move him down in the leaderboard a little bit, but Dave Oliver had a couple of solid runs. Martin Hallinan up and down runs. So interesting to see how those championship points will play out when we head into round number 7 next week. So let's just bring up the people into the broadcast booth. So we've just, I clicked the wrong button there. Good on you, Aiden. Oh no, he was just slow on getting up here. So we've just moved Jordan Mulak and Jamie Craig up into the booth at the moment. We don't have Andrew Smith. We'll move him down. He's just going to have to come down anyway. So we've moved Andrew Smith down into the broadcast booth. So we do have your top 3 for what was race number 3, round 6 of the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship here on the InterSim Esports Network from Twin Ring Motegi. And first and foremost, your third place getter for race number 3, Jamie Craig, mate. Good P3 there, a little bit of a mistake with 2 to go, which allowed Andrew Smith back in there and get the second position, but good race in the race number 3 nonetheless.
Yeah, it was a good race and a good night. I mean, made too many mistakes. I was right in the battle of the first race and then cut myself off. And the reverse grid, I got up to 3rd place in the first lap and binned it again. So it was good to have a fairly clean race. And then, yeah, a couple laps to go, spun myself again. Gave Andrew 2nd place. So still not a bad race.
Yeah, not a bad race. You're not the only one that did it tonight. We saw Jordan Mulak make a mistake. We've seen, I think we saw Andrew Smith might have made a mistake during that one. Martin Hallinan, Ricky Provenzali, the list goes on. There would have been nearly the whole field that had made a mistake around the Twin Ring Motegi circuit tonight. I was lucky enough, I did a few laps this afternoon. It's a track that when you drive doesn't feel like it's that tricky, but it's very easy to let that car get away from you around that circuit, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a hard one. I mean, there's a few different lines through turn 1, and it's just trying to focus on your braking and getting off the corner, and the track felt a lot different to last night in practice, so caught a few people out, I think.
Yeah, it definitely did, mate. It definitely did. But that's going to be good for your championship standing. Jordan Mulak's probably stretched his legs at the front there after 2 race wins and a P2 tonight, but you came into the round in 2nd position. That's going to be good for your championship moving forward into round 7.
Yeah, I think it'll help. We missed the first round, so we've got no drop rounds. Just got to stay up front and collect points, and I think Jordan's pretty hard to catch at the moment, so I think P2 is going to be about as good as it gets.
Yeah, well, you never know. Anything can happen. Stranger things have been known to happen in motorsport, mate, so definitely don't write yourself off yet, but Jordan Mulak definitely in the box seat after round 6. But Jamie, big congratulations on your P3 for race number 3 tonight. A big shout out to all those sponsors and everyone involved.
Yeah, first of all, just a big shout out to the whole ProCar team, all the sponsors, Affordable Web Solution, South Carolina Automotive, and man, you guys, broadcast team, and everyone just coming out for racing. There's quite a few quick guys this week that were all hard to pass and good to race. So shout out to those guys, and then also my own sponsors, Ultimate Karting Sydney, Trascal Track Days. They support us in real life and put them on the car for the racing series, so it's always good.
No worries, Jamie. Well said. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Your third place getter for race number 3, round number 6 of the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship. It was the number 39 of Jamie Craig. That moves us straight across to your second place getter tonight. A man that missed out talking to us last week, but he has shown up tonight and had a very, very quick number 99 car. He started off race number 1 out of the pole position. He got the chocolates in that one, started out of P24 in the reverse grid race number 2 and came home in P number 2. Started out of P number 2 in race number 3 and come home P number 2. It is the 99 of Andrew Smith, mate. Good to see you back up into the booth and having a chat with us. You've got to be happy with how your night went tonight.
Yeah, Aiden, it makes a bit of a change. Didn't have much luck last week, so Long Beach was a good round for me, and it turns out this one as well.
Yeah, what I saw from my perspective, you've had a few unfortunate races. You've never been one that has been short of speed, but just some uncharacteristic errors in previous races, which has really put a dent on you being able to challenge for podiums in those rounds. We did see you around the concrete jungle showing a lot of speed a couple of rounds ago. You had an unfortunate round last week, but this week, definitely the 99 car was on point at the front.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Like you said, always generally got some pace. I really only get to jump on for a practice session and end of the Tuesday night, so I probably could do with a bit more practice. But Jordan's definitely got his head screwed on. He knows how to win a championship, and I think I kind of just took a leaf out of his book this weekend and just calmed it down a bit, and the results kind of showed.
Yeah, definitely did, and not many off tracks, not many incidents there for the 99 car. Looks like you had the pace on Jordan most of the night tonight. You definitely did in race 1. Jordan probably just sitting there in second trying to consolidate some championship points. You look like you just worked together through the field there in race number 2 to come from the back to finish P number 1 and 2. But in race number 2, and especially in race number 3 as well, it looked like you just struggled to get that move done early to try and clear those cars in front of you to be able to chase down Jordan. Was that sort of how you read it from the cockpit?
Yeah, it's surprisingly difficult to pass on the track, and I'd been having graphics card issues all night. I was surprised to actually even win race 1 with artifacting and stuttering and all sorts of craziness going on, so I'll have to sort that out for the next round. But yeah, it's definitely hard to pass, and it's a credit to the guys that are up the front. They're all very quick as well, so it doesn't make it any easier.
Well, mate, congratulations on your P2 finish for race number 3 and, of course, your win for race number 1. That's going to help your championship points. You were down the order a little bit after those couple unfortunate rounds, but that's going to move you up a little bit. But a big shout out to all those sponsors and everyone involved.
Yeah, definitely. All the guys that make the series happen, you guys in the commentary team for the broadcast, you guys do an amazing job as well. And thanks to Molecule Australia, who's all over the car, you're a performance sport cleaning product specialist. So if you need your race suit cleaned or your race car cleaned, jump on moleculeaustralia.com.au.
Well, there you go. You hear it first from Andrew Smith. Molecule Australia is your place to be to get your race suit or race car cleaned. So I actually know about Molecule Australia from my karting days. They used to come and put their products out at the racetrack there. So a good product by Molecule Australia. There's a little bit of self-promotion there for you, Andrew. But once again, congratulations on your P2 tonight.
Thanks, mate. We'll catch you next week, Aiden. Thanks.
Hopefully we do. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen, your P2 place getter tonight for race number 3, round number 6 of the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship. It was the 99 of Andrew Smith, which moves us across. Hang on, I just got to get your chair out. Yep, I got it. Straight across to your race winner. I've got your chair ready, Jordan. Jordan Mulak, the 96. P2 and 2 P1s tonight, mate. Extended that lead at the championship, at the top of the championship once again.
It was a pretty good round, pretty tricky one, especially being under lights and at night time. I don't know about everyone else, but I had a real issue picking reference points. Yeah, most of the practice I did was in daytime or at afternoon. So yeah, going to a nighttime session was very interesting. But no, it was some great racing up and down the pack. You know, Andrew absolutely had my measure in race 1. He controlled that, and yeah, I can't be too disappointed about the result there. sorry to Dan Smith in race 2, we made some contact at the hairpin there, but I think that was because I had a car coming up my inside and pretty much I was about to become the meat and the sandwich, and yeah, I just had nowhere to go, so that tagged him and spun him around. But yeah, we were still able to keep driving and keep recovering through the pack, and yeah, I don't really know what to say about the last race. It's not that it was boring or anything, but in the first couple of laps, I was really, really having a hard crack to try and make a gap and break the back of the guys behind me, and it turns out that it works. So it was fun to just look back at the relative screen and see what was going on behind me.
Yeah, it's always good when the relative keeps getting bigger and bigger behind you. But you mentioned the nighttime. We've had a couple of nighttime races which weren't meant to be in the previous rounds. I bet you enjoyed having some floodlights out on the track tonight.
Yeah, it was a nice change. Yeah, the unintentional dark races have certainly been a cat amongst the pigeons, but yeah, this one was slightly better. But again, it was still a little bit tricky to sometimes pick reference points, but I mean, still worked. You put your delta bar up and see how you're going compared to the previous best lap time. So no, can't complain too much, and as long as it looked good on the broadcast still, then that's all that matters.
It looked amazing, and I hope you go back and watch the broadcast because we enjoy bringing it to you guys for the Blendline TV ProCar GT Championship. But Jordan Mulak, championship leader coming into the round, go away from round number 6, extending that lead at the top. Of course, you've got to have shout out to those sponsors and everyone involved.
Yeah, thanks to all the series organisers and sponsors, so Blendline TV, Portable Web Solutions, South Gundagai Automotive, Viking Photo, and InterSim. You guys, without your support, we wouldn't be able to do this, or we wouldn't be able to have as much fun doing it. And yeah, to all the organisers who put this on, it's a lot of fun. And my DGR teammate Matt wasn't here tonight, and sure did miss having my buddy not there on comms with me, but no, it was still quite a fun round, and looking forward to wherever we are next round.
Well, I can tell you, Jordan, that Matt was tuning into the broadcast and he was cheering you on, mate. So you might not have been there in the comms, but he was there watching you go around. So
he was there in spirit. That's all.
He was there in spirit, mate. But we actually head to Oran Park next week for round number 7. So that answers that one. We're back over in Australia for the nice little tight Oran Park. So that's going to sort the men out for the boys around that place.
That's going to be busy. It's going to be a very busy lap. Not many opportunities to overtake. Yeah, qualifying will be a very crucial thing there, and I hope it's a daytime race.
No worries, Jordan. Well, hopefully we are talking to you up in the booth again next week for what is, I believe, just a basic sprint round. I'm not quite sure yet, but there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Your race winner for race number 3, round number 6 of the Blendline TV ProCar GT Championship was the 96er Jordan Mulak, your championship leader. He goes away from this one, extending his lead as we head to Oran Park. Over in Australia, coming from Japan tonight, over in Australia, back at our home ground at Oran Park next week. But don't tune away from the InterSim Esports Network, ladies and gentlemen. It all doesn't stop here. Friday night, we go across to the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. We will bring you round number 5 from Arizona for the Arizona 200. The Phoenix Raceway will be your location. We will be live from approximately 7:15 Australian Eastern Standard Time, or 8:15 Australian Eastern Daylight Time, wherever you may be. So make sure you join us for that one, rather. Then on Sunday night, we will bring you the next instalment of the Australasian Supercar E-Series, and what a series that has been through the first 2 rounds. But we head across to our first road course of the season, and it is the Daytona Speedway road course. So we're turning left as well as turning right in the supercars. Turning right as well as turning left, rather, in the supercars for what will be round number 3. We'll bring all the action live to you here on the InterSim Esports Network from 7 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard Time, or 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time, wherever you may be. So make sure that you give us a like and a subscribe on YouTube and follow, so you make sure you don't miss all the action. And then we are back here next Tuesday night for what will be round 7 of the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship. As I said earlier, your location will be Oran Park. We look forward to bringing you all the action there. Will it be Jordan Mulak again in the 96 that'll come away with the spoils? Will Andrew Smith back up and have another solid round at his home track at Oran Park? Or can Michael Budge, can Dimitri Agathos, can any of those guys that had a quite unfortunate night tonight make their way back up onto the podium? But that brings to an end the broadcast for what was round 6 of the Blendline TV ProCar GT Championship. From myself, Paul, and everyone involved at the Indosim Esports Network, we thank you for tuning in and we wish you a good night.